and welcome to another episode of the How to CEO Show. I'm your host, Murray Newlands. Today, I'm delighted to be talking to CK from the Honest NFT. CK, welcome. Please introduce yourself and your project.
Yeah, really appreciate you having me here. CK Umachi. I am the VP of Business Development at Convex Labs. Honest NFT is our first project and one that we have a lot of high hopes for. Super excited to get the Honest Protocol out. We recently launched our Vigilante NFTs, and all of this is going to play a role in what we think is going to be the trust and curation backbone for Web3. I'm also an MBA student at Stanford. I got about 3 months left, so it's been a grind doing all this at the same time. Looking forward to being graduated, but also bittersweet because nice being on campus, nice connecting with all these incredible people, and people just love talking to Stanford students. So you lose a little bit of that when you graduate. So it's a little bit of sweet.
True. That's true. So tell us about the Honest NFT collection and what the project is all about, and what that means to the blockchain development.
Yeah, so there's a lot that has kind of gone into Honest NFT to date. So one of the things that we kind of need to work on our end is messaging and just kind of making that a little bit more concise, because to date, we've done audits of projects. We've released frameworks and guides that help people understand what to be looking for in NFT projects and what to be watching out for, and kind of highlighted some of the cheating that's happened in the space. We've also do bounty program where we pay people to help build out tools. So we just did the last one, released the winners of that yesterday. So there's been about 10 ETH that we've given out for folks who've supported us. And we've actually got a lot of really cool items back from those folks. But the big push as of the last few months has been this Vigilante NFT collection. And what that is meant to do is, one, we've been kind of telling people this is how you should be doing an NFT collection and grading people on how they're doing those. So we needed to kind of put our money where our mouth was and actually go ahead and do our own collection. But also the big thing that we're working on right now is what we call the Honest Protocol. And the Honest Protocol will be what we consider the trust and curation backbone of the Web3 space. So starting with NFTs, but really taking this much bigger than NFTs to really any kind of Web3 asset. And the idea there is that there's a bunch of objective metrics and what we call labels that you can assign to different assets. And so how we think about it is like a nutrition label. So you walk into a grocery store, you pick up a bag of chips, and you can quickly see how many calories, how much protein, carbs, fat, sodium, et cetera. And you can make a decision, is this the item that I want to walk away with? And sure, maybe it might be. Maybe you don't really care about some of those items. Or maybe you look at it and like, okay, let me not get that one. But we feel like in the NFT space and in the Web3 space more broadly, there really isn't a platform for people to be able to quickly get the information that they need to make these kind of decisions. So what a lot of people are going off now is hype. What influencers promoted the project? Does the art look good? What is the utility? And that utility word, I think a lot of people are literally going out there and finding utility just to put on their projects. And I mean, some of it is really cool, let's be honest, but we are hoping that we get to a space where folks can make better informed decisions about what they're buying, what they're trading. And this, again, extends much beyond NFTs into Web3. We're talking with a company about NFT loans. If you're a lender, you would want to know information about your counterparties to say this counterparty is more trustworthy. Let me give them a better rate and convince them to be on my platform. So this is I think is a pretty big idea. Kind of going back to the NFTs, what those there's a lot that we can't say just yet, but those will play a role in what we're building out. So there's a bunch of different players that act in that, and a bunch of different features that we'll have that hopefully these NFTs will play a role basically in the broader picture. A lot that I can't say, and I'm trying to bite my tongue on a little bit.
So you're trying to bring trust and honesty into the NFT space, because it's very hard to see what that is. And if you're a company or business trying to launch a project, the people you're working with need to be able to trust you. And so this is that way to have that trust within the Web3 platform. Is that right?
Exactly. Like we kind of liken it akin to like the OpenSea check mark. So you go on OpenSea, you see the check mark, you're like, oh, okay, that's a trustworthy NFT collection. But in reality, what they look at is trade volume. So you can have a team that did something sketchy on the back end. Nobody really has that information, or nobody's really done a deep dive into that, or most retail investors who come to trade these aren't going to be able to piece that together quickly, but they see that check mark and they feel confident that they can trade this. For us, we think that you can get a lot more sophisticated with that. And a lot of the issues today is that people just don't know what to look for. And secondly, they don't know how to get that information. So that's kind of been our bread and butter. Is we've done a lot of work auditing these projects and really taking a deep dive under the hood to say, for one, is it a provably fair NFT? So like we do that after we minted the NFTs, we shuffled them to ensure that not even I or the developers could get a leg up on the other folks in the project who minted in the project. A lot of projects aren't doing that. Some are, and there's been some really cool examples. On-Chain Monkey, I think, in their latest one, did a really cool job of doing the commit reveal scheme. But without knowing to look for that, it's easy to kind of fall prey for some of these projects that aren't doing that. And we've kind of stayed away from pointing fingers and naming names for libel reasons. I don't know, maybe we might do that in the future, but I think we kind of tried to stay away from some of the more salacious name calls. But we have seen a lot of projects that have what we consider anomalously lucky buyers, which that's to say that they had a 1 in a million or a billion chance of getting as lucky as they did, which is a pretty good indication that something funny was happening under the hood. So if folks know to look for projects that are doing commit reveal schemes as they're like searching for the next asset to buy, our thought process and what we believe is this kind of cool loop is that now people are going to be demanding that. And now projects will be more readily willing to do things that are right for the end consumer, because now the end consumers know what to look at. So that's just one example of these metrics that we're talking about.
That's fantastic. So what are other people doing cool things in this space, or other communities? If you want to learn about this, where are places you can go to find out more?
Yeah, so I mean, for a lot of what we're doing, I think the Honest NFT Discord is probably one of the coolest Discords in the space. Folks just come in there and just ask questions. A lot of them either found like our initial document, which is our guide to detecting NFT cheaters. And so that one got us a lot of following and a lot of people who are interested in learning more about this. We've open source tools to be able to kind of detect these cheaters. And so a lot of folks have come in to want to use those tools and learn more. And we just have a community, and then we pay people to do bounties. So of course, I think ours is a good one. There's some cool Twitter pages. There's one OK Hotshot. I think NFT Herder is what he goes by. Gabagool and Zoomer. So these are some of the folks that we've nominated for our Vigilante NFT program, Vigilante nominations program, who are doing a lot of cool work in the space, really taking a deep dive at some of these projects and calling them out in a way that we've kind of been a little hesitant to. So I hope their lawyers are top notch. But those folks are doing a great job. NFT Ethics has done a good job as well, kind of highlighting some of the malicious stuff that's gone on in the space. And taking a step back, at the core of what we're doing, we all believe very, very strongly in Web3. We think it has the potential to kind of open up a lot of opportunity and a lot of value, and unlock a lot of value for just people in general, and how we're doing so many different things. Of course, I do think a little bit of it's overblown and there's a rush to trying to build the next XYZ. But when you look at the projects that are actually being built in the right way and that are actually solving real problems, we think Web3 is going to revolutionize a lot of different aspects of how we communicate, how we interact, and what we spend our time on. But to get there, there's all these retail investors who are coming in, getting cheated, scammed, et cetera. So we want to kind of shine a light, be kind of a light to shine and show people, okay, there are sketchy things in the space, but if you have this kind of information, you can be able to kind of, move through this web of all these different activities and kind of know who are some of the more trustworthy ones, but also decide that for yourself. So maybe there's 10 things that we're looking at. The first 7 you care about, the last 3 you don't care about. But then maybe, so say for instance, OpenSea, they integrate us into their platform and allow you to see their choice of like, okay, there's 8 of the metrics that they care about. The first 2 they don't care about, but the last 8 they care about. And maybe you use OpenSeas, or maybe you come up with your own version. But we want people to be able to kind of, 1, understand what a trustworthy project looks like, and 2, determine for themselves what they want to include in that trust. So anybody who's out there shining a light on any malicious activity that's happening, any of these scams, we are fully supportive of.
That's fantastic. How can people help you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the main thing is just come join our community, come check out what we're doing. We have these bounty programs. We just entered our third round of bounties. We're paying people. We will literally pay you Ethereum and give you NFTs to support us in our mission. So some of our most committed folks are the ones who are doing the bounties round after round. An easier way, if you're less technical, even if you're less technical, some folks have helped us with marketing and made some cool swag for us that we've also rewarded with these bounties. And then we have our Vigilante collection still being sold. Again, that's going to play a role in the Honest Protocol. So one, it supports us because 45% of those proceeds go to the bounty programs to help continue to pay for these build outs. And it also helps us to continue to hire on our side. This is just the first of many projects that we're building out, but we want to establish a world-class team who has our same vision and wants to be able to build these tools out in a really cool way. So by buying the Vigilantes, vigilante.honestnft.xyz, you are directly supporting this vision, and also you will be along for the ride with us as we build out the Honest Protocol and really become that trust backbone for Web3.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. This is exciting.
I'm Murray Newlands. You've been listening to the How to CEO podcast. I'll see you next time.